Metamorphosis is a 1990 sci-fi horror film from director George Eastman. The movie opens in, focus! There we go. The movie opens during a college basketball game at the professors versus the students. I miss mall hair. Sally's meeting with her friend Dr. Lester. She's asking him about Dr. Peter Houseman. Okay, who trips over their lines more?
Oh, I was beginning to think you weren't coming. The game's almost over.
And how is it last year he was able to obtain financing of $200,000?
She's investigating why the university is letting this genetic engineer spend his budget unchecked. Wait a minute, that's not Dr. Peter, that's Father Peter. She sees Dr. Houseman and is immediately attracted to him. Later in class, one of the doctor's students is trying to get his attention. It works.
Not only the masterpiece of nature, which happens to be the exciting thighs of our generous Patricia.
He gets a message. He has to report all his spendings, as well as document his works in progress. He's none too happy. Peter goes to talk to Mike about the issue.
Some inspector's type is sticking her nose into the allocation of funds for research. Peter, I don't...
There's a woman the head office sent that's investigating his research. Here's a woman he doesn't know who just so happens to be there. Maybe she's the one who's investigating his research?
And it's all the fault of some hysterical old maid menopause.
But I wouldn't expect too much from a hysterical old maid in menopause.
For a smart guy, he sure is stupid. Since his work's being investigated, he has to speed things up. Hey man, what are you doing with that needle? Oh god! Hold on. Peter's over here, and his assistant is over here. Who's holding the monkey? Unfortunately, due to the increased dosage, the monkey dies. Peter's being reviewed by the board. Did they call his report skanky?
Houseman, your report is as scanty as it is fascinating.
Peter explains that with his research, he may have found out how to stop people from aging. He hasn't, however, figured out how to get the crew to stop letting the shadow of the boom mic get into frame. He explains to the board he's been researching on humans. Wait, wasn't he just working on a monkey? He has this elderly gentleman's heart outside of his body for some reason, and the guy goes into cardiac arrest. I'm not a doctor, but I'd say this has something to do with the fact that there's no blood going in or out of the guy. Peter wakes up from his nightmare. Why is he sleeping in a crib? Peter's upset because the board decided to pull his funding. Sally comes to the lab to apologize. She's about to reach the ripe old age of 30 and wants to know if he can stop her from aging. He explains that if he created a way so that no one would die, humans would become extinct. Huh? Professor Lloyd goes to talk to Peter's assistant, Willie.
Willie, are you on foot?
No, I'm riding an invisible bike. Sally tells Peter they're suspending his research pending investigation. Okay, we got OJ, champagne, some purple stuff, and Bud Light. I'll try a Bud Light. Willie calls Peter to tell him they're trying to blackmail him, so he heads to the lab to do some undocumented experiments. Apparently this is Virginia University. What's up with the laboratory sign? Looks like there should be a word there that isn't. He drives through the gate and into a completely different location. Security doesn't seem to care that a guy who's been suspended is going into his lab at 2 a.m. Peter has a vial of cough syrup that has something to do with his experiments. Since he has no one left to experiment on, he injects himself with the serum. I'm sure this'll work out fine. As the needle approaches, he realizes this is probably a bad idea. I'm having flashbacks to Zombie. Ow! He then has a mild freakout. Mike is dropping Sally off at her house. He lets her know that even though she isn't interested, he's gonna keep stalking her.
Your wisdom is very discouraging. But forgive me if I don't give up.
Oh well, another night with the body pillow. Peter tells Sally he tried the serum on himself, and so far the result is he hasn't died. She invites him in for coffee. Her friend Alice was babysitting her son Tommy while she was out. And here comes the best actor in the movie.
Hi, I wasn't sleeping. I was waiting for you.
Sally tries to introduce Tommy to Peter. Are you my new daddy? Do you have any crackers?
Can I sleep with you?
No, dear. Mama has work to do.
Yes, work. This music sounds straight out of Herman Beeftank. Patricia very subtly makes a pass at Peter.
I'm having a party at my house. I'd like it if you could come.
When?
Any day. Any time you like.
Peter, they're all out of meatloaf. What? This is bullshit! Lloyd lets Peter know they're trying to take over his project. He finds a handkerchief covered in blood. I think the rabbit killed someone.
You ain't seen nothing.
Peter has a flashback of him going all American Psycho on someone. The next day, Peter goes into overdrive playing racquetball. Damn cheap dollar store rackets. Peter takes Sally and Tommy to the zoo. These rhinos are making elephant noises. He gets a little too honest with Tommy.
You don't like me too much, do you?
Oh.
That's okay, I don't like you either.
Peter goes back to the lab and finds something went wrong with his experiment. He goes to leave and the guard asks him if he'll be coming back like he did the other night.
You really don't remember. I even lent you my handkerchief so you could tie up your wounded hand.
You were acting weird and don't remember anything, which is totally not suspicious. Peter goes to the bar from his vision. He walks in and everyone's on edge. Uh-oh. The girl he beat up's there, so all the patrons kick Peter's ass. Of course all this does is make him angry. They wouldn't like him when he's angry. He beats them up and leaves. Peter gets the meat sweats and decides he needs more serum, which makes him do the worm on the bathroom floor. There was a time when milk crates were perfectly acceptable office furniture. Willie's driving and finds Peter in the back seat. He explains the serum's killing him and he needs his help to get back in the lab. It just looks like he's got a really bad sunburn, that's all. Willie helps to inject him with another batch of the serum. The new batch makes him even more unstable and he breaks out of the lab. He goes to see Patricia, but it looks like he was already here. I swear, I'm not gonna hurt you. Fooled you! I am here to hurt you! Peter sneaks out of her apartment, which attracts the police. They chase him and run him over. Willie calls Sally to let her know that he's in the hospital. Willie gives her the serum to give to Peter. She sneaks in to see him, and he's aged 50 years. So much for the anti-aging serum. She tells him that even though he's old, she still loves him. So he bites her lips off. After investigating Peter, they discover he's not aging, but mutating. Oh no, no more Taco Bell! Dr. Lloyd goes to see Peter and gloat about his mutation, but Peter kills him. I'm pretty sure Peter's devolving into a Goomba. He steals his clothes and sneaks out. The staff finds Lloyd dead. Well, that security guard's fired. Peter's walking through the city. The Santa sees him and nopes the fuck out of there. He goes to find Sally to get the serum. He tries to kill her, but she gets away and locks herself in the bathroom instead of finding her son. So Peter kidnaps him. Sally goes to chase after him, but forgets how garage doors work. Peter's back in the lab. Okay, it's not a Goomba. He's devolving into a slee stack. Tommy's trying to get the door key while Peter's preoccupied with the computer. With those nails, I'd imagine typing is pretty difficult.
Shit.
Tommy destroys the serum and escapes. Sally breaks into the lab. Their security force sucks. Peter chases Tommy and Sally in the lab, and she sprays them with a fire extinguisher. He bursts through the door and oh shit, he's a zoonoid. The police unload on him, which effectively does nothing. The police chase him inside, but all they find that's left of him is gloop. Tommy wanders off. Sally decides after all that's happened, it would be best to move back to New York. On the drive home, Tommy shows Sally what he found in the lab. It's Peter! The movie was filmed in Norfolk, Virginia for about $600,000. This was another joint American-Italian production. Much like La Casa 2, when it was released in Spain, it was renamed to Reanimator 2 to capitalize on that movie's success. The movie came out during a time when direct-to-video films were competing for shelf space at the video store. As a way to make their product stick out, Imperial Entertainment came up with a gimmick to make some of their VHS covers embossed. In the case of Metamorphosis, it even had a button you could press to make the eyes light up. The movie was directed by Italian exploitation actor George Eastman, whose real name was Luigi Montefiore. He starred in various spaghetti westerns, but is best known for doing a series of post-apocalyptic films, like 1990 Bronx Warriors, Warriors of the Wasteland, and Endgame. He was also Big Ape in 2019 after the fall of New York. He only directed 3 films. Dog Lay Afternoon in 1976, he co-directed 2020 Texas Gladiators in 1982, and Metamorphosis in 1990. For the scene where the needle goes into Peter's eye, they use the eye of a dead pig. Metamorphosis is a silly but entertaining sci-fi horror film. It does have the trope of Professor Guinea Pig, where the good doctor is backed into a corner and has to do the experiment on himself, which has disastrous results. It wasn't a new concept, even back in 1990, but I think they were trying to do an homage to the old sci-fi horror films, like The Fly, The Projected Man, and X, the man with the X-ray eyes. It starts off well enough with the overzealous doctor, but gets increasingly goofy as he devolves. Also, it ended with him being an indestructible lizard, which is fairly hilarious. Not as great as the evolved rats from Rats Nights of Terror, but it's still something unexpected. If you're looking for a body horror film where a genius turns himself into Godzilla Jr., you've come to the right place.
Some coffee.